Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Yeah! It's time for talking about movies! I love movies! You guys! Movies! Storytelling! Hello, everyone.
Hello!
We're an episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast!
The show where we talk about movies!
Movies!
No. It's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryan.
I am your other co-host, David Bell. Who
are you?
is our third?
Oh, I didn't know. I was waiting for my time to speak. I'm Drew Grant. Hi.
That time is now, Drew Grant.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Drew.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks. It's been a hot minute. I'm glad to be
It
here.
has been. It has been too many hot minutes to count. I don't want to do that math.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been as good as anybody else. I think I've got 2 puppies now, so that's cool.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yes, they're very cute and very bad, but I love them. I love them a lot. What else? I got a colonoscopy yesterday, but that's about it.
Oh,
Ooh.
dope. Yeah, no.
I hear, did they drug you up? I hear the drugs are awesome.
The drugs are freaking awesome. The day before, it's the prep that's terrible. That's what kills you. Like the day before.
You gotta like not eat and stuff, right?
The and stuff is the worst part.
You gotta do the cleanse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta poop.
Yeah, just
But they
constant.
reward you with delightful drugs.
The drugs felt nice. I did wake up feeling like I had never slept that well before in my life. I also don't remember going under. Like, it was just sort of like, okay, now we're going to, and then I woke up. It's like someone cut off a movie reel, like just right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty great.
That's how you know the drugs are
awesome.
real nice.
Yeah.
Woof. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
I'm glad you cleared your schedule today, like your colon, so that we would have enough time to talk about these movies.
Movies. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty tired. So
I don't give a shit, Dave. I don't give a shit how tired you
listen,
are.
This wasn't that wasn't the whole thought, Tom. It wasn't the whole thought. I'm just saying, I just want to assure people that I am very hyped today about a lot of these movies. I just want to say that at the top of this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you fall a little bit, I can pick up your slack doing what I think the last person who commented on a Hypecast episode said I was doing, which is just running in and Leroy Jenkinsing it, which I think...
Oh, yeah.
Talking about movies I did not watch the trailer for, so this time I did all of that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait, time did you not watch any of the trailers?
I know. I watched all the trailers. I missed the Mockingbird one, and so I was like watching it, but like kind of like commenting on it while having not seen it.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
We prefer our guests to have strong opinions about things they've never seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is
the show.
That's the show. You're right. So.
Yeah. We watch 3 minutes of a movie and we go, meh.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Boo!
Boo!
What is a teaser trailer anyway, if not just a preview of the 5 seconds of somebody's window?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have the 5-second trailers that go before the teaser trailers.
Mm-hmm.
We should start just reviewing those.
I was going to say, it's their fault, really. They, they invite this. So.
They invite snap judgment. I agree. What are we supposed to do? Like long meditative looks on the 5 seconds of Spider-Man? Spider-Man?
Spidersman? Yeah. No. These movies live and die in a single weekend, so we're allowed to judge them by the They're 3-minute trailers.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's name some goddamn producers, Dave.
Alrighty, we got a new producer this week. Big thank you to Look Ma, I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, you've done it.
Solid. Yeah, your mother must be very proud.
Yep.
Thank you to Children Love the Meat Millie. Your mother must also be very proud. Thank you to Grumblebee.
Woo.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Woo.
Thank you to Del Griffith, the shower curtain fella.
Woo.
Thank you to Lef. Thank you to Seismic Charge Noise. Thank you to Jake. Thanks, Jake. Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcanoconiosis Jones.
Woo.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the baby from Eraserhead.
Forever.
Thank you to Chiz Lily Tits. Thank you to these 7 Bs. Thank you to Breezy. Ruizy, thank you.
Woo! All right, let me jump in here and get through these names. Thank you to Davey Francis Ford, The Revenge.
Thank you.
Thank you to MVB.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Definitely Not Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank you,
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Down Home Chicken. Thank you to Han Toomey, the confused cyborg.
Thank you.
Thank you to Asking 7.
Thank you.
Thank you to Happy Ed 209.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tom and Dave are good writers. Follow them at Collider and Some More News.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers, Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Oh.
All right. It's time for the 58th trailer for No Time to Die. We have seen the entire movie at this point, haven't we?
Yeah. I put this on, it's almost like an autopsy where it's like, this is the final trailer they claim. For the final Bond they claim, but like, I'm pretty sure Spectre was supposed to be the final Bond.
It was. And then they came back with, but what if we gave you a lot of money?
Yeah. So I don't believe a word that these fuckers say.
Yeah, it says coming this October. I'm like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, is anybody excited for this one?
Yes.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. That's about where I land.
Well, because Fleabag is writing it, or is in part involved in writing it, so I do kind of I do kind of have a little bit more interest in this one than I think I'd regularly do in James Bond. Although these ones, the whole grouping has been kind of good. I haven't seen all of them, but Casino Royale, good. The one where he goes back to his home, fine. I thought that one was fine.
Skyfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
No, that's it. Those are the 2 I've seen.
Those are also the only 2 I've seen of Daniel Craig.
I done seen them all. They remind me of the Mission Impossibles, where I watch them, I really enjoy them, and then I never watch them again. And I always think they were good. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's just that the story isn't particularly complex, I
don't know. It's James Bond.
It's James Bond, yeah.
I don't really get excited for James Bond the way that I would get amped for, I don't know.
Fast and Furious?
Exactly. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, the Dune movie that's coming out.
Right.
Or, I just
because,
don't... Yeah.
Like the Mission Impossibles, they're just, they're, yearly.
Mm-hmm.
Or not literally, but we never run out of them.
Like the tides, the turning of the tides for every season, there is a new James Bond. I think James Bond feels particularly weird and archaic sometimes. I mean, I know people love it, but it does feel like it's of a different era because it literally is. And he's a character that's not really, he's kind of at odds with where we are as a culture, which is why I am interested in what Phoebe Waller-Bridge is bringing to the table in terms of what this is going to be.
Well, if you watch some of the other ones, they actually address that idea.
Really?
They do. They start becoming more self-aware. They start recognizing the fact that he's an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. They start recognizing the fact that he's not great with women. Yeah. Stuff like that, where they are self-aware of the time in which they exist.
His crotch has got to be radioactive by now.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
that shit fell right off.
So in this reality, I never know what they're doing with the timelines here. Is he a variant of other 007s, or is he a new guy that's been brought in to replace a previous 007, or is he just always been James Bond?
It's always been James Bond, I think.
Okay.
I think it's always a mistake to try to connect the continuity. I would say it's a reboot because in Casino Royale he makes 007. It like starts from him becoming 007.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yeah, we're seeing, and now we're introducing in the last one Spectre and all the villains from the previous films and stuff.
Oh.
This does look a lot like really fun. I think the big issue is I have the Free Guy issue with it, where I've just seen the ad campaign for what feels like 5 years.
It's been almost 2 years, right?
Yeah, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. But it's created a situation where, like yeah. Hey, it's not your fault.
Hey.
But like what Tom said, I feel like I've seen it.
What's funny is I don't think I'd seen a trailer or any marketing for this movie. I think I just have selective like blindness towards certain things. I hadn't seen anything about this movie until like the trailer dropped the other day. And I was like, oh
wow.
Yeah,
I refuse to believe that.
I swear, I live in a little bubble, Tom. I didn't know anything.
I know you do. I feel like maybe it's more of a selective memory thing where you just like, I don't need to remember this.
Well, also like I don't work at a major publication. Like where would I see it if I wasn't actively searching it out? I guess. Like,
right.
It's not like it wasn't just playing in front of like YouTube videos.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I forget not everyone obsessively watches 10 trailers a week.
Yeah, right now, oh my God. Tom, are you getting this where when you go to see a movie, you're like, Christ, with the opening? Because it reminds me of when I worked at a movie theater, where it's like, I've seen every trailer 50 times.
The one cool one was when we went to go see the Fast 9. Again, I guess F9 is like the only thing that matters in the world, but like that Jurassic Park trailer that played beforehand, like we came in a little bit late and missed it, like that little 3-minute intro trailer they do for the new Jurassic Park movie or Jurassic World or whatever. And
that's not online, is it?
No, it's not online.
No,
and like not. We missed it and we walked in the theater, we were so bummed, and then the reel broke like a little bit through the movie, like 10 minutes in, and they were like, okay, we're gonna restart the whole thing out over, including the trailer, and we were like so pumped. Like the theater just cheered audibly. I think.
Wow.
I think because no one got to see it online, and we all want to see it.
There's a few things I want to break down. I can't believe a theater actually cheered to see that trailer. Also, did you see the reel broke down?
Or like whatever happened, it broke. Like the thing broke.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I didn't think that was possible anymore.
Vin Diesel jumped through the projector and.
Yeah. It was just so awesome that the digital projector was like, I can't handle this.
Yeah. I think, when I think about it, maybe they were cheering just because they got to see the opening 10 minutes of F9 again. That might have been why they were. Maybe that's why they were cheering.
I don't think people are, like, hating the new Jurassic World, but it does seem like the butt of a lot of jokes now. Like that thing that was going around about Trevorrow's interview of, like, we're going to explore whether or not humans and dinosaurs can coexist or something, or what. I don't know.
I mean, have you seen Book of Henry?
I have.
Oh, yeah. We celebrate Book of Henry in this house.
Okay. I saw that movie recently, and I guess I never had a strong opinion about Colin Trevorrow one way or another. I just thought he was a name that got thrown around a lot. Now I do. Now I've got some opinions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know we're supposed to be talking about No Time to Die, but like it's more like he might be the nicest guy in the world. He just sort of represents like someone getting too much too soon in a career, where it's like they're not making the best decisions. And it's like, yeah, maybe don't make Jurassic World your second film ever. Yeah. Like, that's wild. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I wonder, I watched Book of Henry, and it looks like a cry for help. It seems like a cry for help. I don't know.
It really does.
It seems like a lot of things, and all of them live in darkness.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
All right. Mayor of Kingstown. With little Jerry Renmore.
Jerry Renmore.
Jerry Renmore.
Jerry Renmore with his little face.
He's got such a scrunchy little face.
A scrunchy little face guy. I don't know. Crime show.
It's got Ben, that guy from the Bane shirts that you guys love, right?
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Mendelsohn, I love him so much.
Mendelsohn.
I still have that Where's Bane shirt. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, this is the kind of show that I would watch the shit out of.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually would, but it's just like, gritty crime drama. Sure, fuck it, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like loaded with actors.
Everybody's very serious.
It's
very
one
serious.
of the Taylors, right? It's Taylor Sheridan or Taylor Hackford, one of those Taylors.
Sheridan,
Sheridan.
The Yellowstone guy.
Hell or High Water guy. He wrote it. Like, yeah, that's a great movie. I mean, I like it. Is it a Mayor of Easttown prequel?
It should be.
It should be. They should be forced to go head to head.
Yeah.
I couldn't get very much from the trailer about what was going on. Renner is fine.
I think I like what the trailer. All right, so what I got from it was that this is a guy who clearly has connections to, like, this is like a prison town, meaning it's a town their major economy is like the prison, and this guy is clearly doing like dirty deals with prisoners and like kind of running the prison in some way.
It's hard to tell if
therefore
he's a
he has
cop.
control over the
Yeah.
Yeah, they say stuff like, "You're the real mayor of this town," and it's like, what does the mayor think about that? It's like he knows, and it's like I'm not sure.
Is there a mayor?
Like a, he could just be running like a dealership, like a car dealership, for all we know.
Oh, is there a literal mayor, or is it just more like I'm the mayor of this prison?
Yeah, it's like not a literal mayor. Like he runs the town.
Yeah.
And so I assume he's like rich and has ties to the prison.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I like that concept of like this is a town where there's a prison and the prison is
the town
corrupt.
Yes. I mean, I'm just looking for the IMDb, or not IMDb, the Wikipedia for it, and it's like everyone's last name is McCluskey in this. It's Diane Weist's last name. It's like Kyle Chandler's last name, and it's his last name. So it looks like it follows the family, like the McCluskeys, of which Jeremy Renner, Diane Weist, and Kyle Chandler are all a part of. And they survive off the prison's industrial complex.
Okay, yeah. See, that seems like a very relevant premise and a good crime like drama premise.
Yeah. No, I'd watch the shit out of this.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of this too.
I really liked Taylor Sheridan. I really loved Hell or High Water. Like, loved it, and it wasn't a movie that like is a very Drew type of movie. He was like sad and intense.
That is surprising. Yeah,
I loved it, and the guy who directed it is this other guy who's done a British crime movie that is very much. It seems like it's kind of the plot of this. Like it's about like a corrupt prison in London, and they're all sort of like wheeling and dealing in that. And Ben Mendelsohn is in that movie as well. So.
Oh man, Bendo.
Yeah, Mendo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for Yellowjackets. Or not Yellowjackets. That's the next.
That's
thing.
the next one, which I
and
also want to fucking watch.
Yeah. I really. This is Showtime. It's about like a group of 4 teenage girls who survive a plane crash, get lost in the woods, and like go full on Lord of the Flies. And then this explores my favorite part of it, which is then like later they've grown up.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of just like, yeah, that was real hush hush.
Well,
it really is Lord of the Flies. Let's check in on the kids 20 years later and see how they're doing.
It looks amazing. First of all, this is a very Drew type of project. Like this is like Alive meets I don't know, Wicker Man or something, and it looks amazing because there does seem to be an element of, if not supernatural, then like there's a horror element of what happened. It wasn't just like we survived. It was like they seemed to be worshiping some sort of god or doing something.
Yeah, it's dark. Yeah.
And Christina Ricci.
Some shit went on in there.
Christina Ricci looks great in it.
I could not recognize her. I had to go back and be like, who is that? And I was like, oh man.
Yeah. I really hope it's like the Onion article in retrospect. I guess we might have resorted to cannibalism a bit early.
Yeah.
Where like I want it to be like the reveal is like, yeah, they were lost for like an afternoon.
They were lost for a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just lost their shit. Yeah, I don't know how much of this, like I'm curious about I'm curious about what the split is, because it's obviously a lot of flashback and then a lot of going back to the 20, 25 years later. So I'm like just curious what that ratio
I'm going
will
to guess, if I'm guessing TV correctly, and I usually do, it's going to start very heavily in the present / before the plane crash passed, and only like kind of give you glimpses of what happened until the ending, where they're going to kind of backload a bunch of that cult stuff.
Yeah, I could see that. Where it's like all like hints of it, if they want to mystery box it a bit, you know.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that'll be
what happened.
Yeah, that'll be the mystery box.
I don't know. I don't know who the writers. I mean, to me, like the showrunner is going to be very important to this series about like whether it's going to be actually like leaning towards supernatural or whether this is going to be actually something that's very entertaining to watch like as a full season. But the trailer made it seem awesome, like just straight up awesome.
It looks super compelling.
It does look really good. Yeah. There's like a black comedy tone to it.
Yeah.
I'm just really into this trailer.
I like it.
And
Good.
Oh no, I just agree with you. I really hope it's supernatural. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I really hope. By the way, the showrunners, both did Narcos, which I never saw.
Okay.
And Dispatches from Elsewhere.
Never saw either of them, but like I'm getting like a Twin Peaks kind of vibe in the sense that like it doesn't need to be blatantly supernatural, but they're clearly worshiping some sort of Paimon figure. I know you guys hate the Ari Aster stuff, but like that's the conclusion I could draw. Like it's drawing some sort of thing that if it's not actually supernatural, it's sort of the group mind mentality that sort of summons this supernatural element, whether it's real or not. Like it's just what they believe to be true.
I don't mind the Ari Aster stuff, but I get,
they've turned monstrous if they're not literal monsters.
Yeah. It's the person directing the first episode directed the 2005 Aeon Flux movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But also the 2009 Jennifer's Body.
Whoa.
And also The Invitation. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
We should have led with that. That's awesome.
I know. I brought us through that in a specific order.
Those movies are great.
Yeah. Also, Destroyer, that Nicole Kidman film. I haven't seen that yet. So yeah, I don't know. This so far, everything I learn about it just makes it sound better, or doesn't make it sound worse, and it looks so good. Is
Christina Ricci and Juliette Lewis the same age? Like that's what I was getting confused by. I don't think they are, because like Christina Ricci was young when I was young. And I feel like
and like she was.
Juliette Lewis was more like a teen.
She was, like I'm thinking like like Addams Family. That was like 91, and Christina Ricci was a little girl, and Juliette Lewis
was
already
already
a teenager at that point. Yeah, Cape Fear.
Yeah. Mom's Natural Born Killers. That was like what
92, I think.
Yeah,
but 91? They're both actresses where it's like, oh fuck yeah, when you see them, because I haven't seen them in a second. And so it's that's part of the delight of this.
I feel like I've seen Juliette Lewis like a lot more and stuff than I haven't seen Christina Ricci in years. Like it was like a shock to realize who that was. But
Juliette Lewis has been
around doing more TV lately, and I think she was just in Breaking News from Yuba County. Is that right?
She was in Ma.
That sounds right.
She was in that movie Ma. That's all I remember.
Right. I am now remembering that Christina Ricci is going to be in the new Matrix.
What?
That delights me. Yeah. The Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, hell yeah. We got a movie now.
Oh, wow.
We got a movie.
If only it wasn't plural, because that is really upsetting me. What? Resurrections?
Yeah. Well, no, that makes sense. Spoilers for the last Matrix, but several people need to be resurrected.
Who else besides him?
Trinity. Neo and Trinity.
Oh, wait. So, okay, I guess. Fine. Sure. Fair.
And I don't know. Maybe they'll bring back some other dead people.
Maybe get Dozer.
They'll bring back those fucking
Dozer.
white guys with dreads.
Yeah, we're going to get...
Yeah.
the first guy.
Bring back Cypher.
Cypher!
Justice for Cypher?
Yeah.
I think he got justice. I mean, he got what he wanted. All right, let's move on.
Okay. Red Notice with The Rock and the Ryan Reynolds.
I literally could not remember which trailer this was.
Yeah.
This is okay. This looks like it's shot really well. It's the person who did Skyscraper, which isn't
good.
It's not good nor bad in my opinion. Skyscraper is fine, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like
this is go ahead. Sorry, you finish.
When I see The Rock, when I see Ryan Reynolds now, when I see this this color palette, it's hard to describe this look. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is going to be like right down the middle. Like aggressively right down the middle, if that makes sense. The jokes aren't going to be too like spicy. Everything's going to work out. There's not going to be it's not going to ask any questions. It's just like a pretty middle of the road action adventure, which isn't to say that's bad. But it's one of those things to me where it's like sometimes you're in the mood for it. Sometimes you have long bouts of being like, yeah, I'm not I'm just not interested.
Was this written by AI? Like when I look at just even looking at it, it's like Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, like The Rock, and it's about like literally the plot is like I can't even tell who's doing the heist, or if they're like if they're going after the person who's doing the heist, or if they are the heisters. Like it is just generic.
Okay, so it looks like The Rock is the FBI agent. He goes to get Ryan Reynolds, who is a heister, and then they make a tenuous alliance to go get Gal Gadot, who is also a heister.
Yeah. It's like vaguely like the movie Bulletproof. It kind of reminded me of that at first.
Okay.
And it's like I see the very obvious dynamic, you know. He doesn't like Ryan Reynolds, but they have to team up to go after this third thief and so on and so forth. And I'm guessing he'll like let him go at the end, or I don't know what.
It feels very much like an algorithm. Like this feels like this is Al G. Rhythm wrote this. This is Don Cheadle.
Yeah. This is written by Don Cheadle.
CGI Don Cheadle.
Yeah. This is what he'd write. This is what he'd write. It's just like a Netflix original that's like just all marketed towards like what the algorithm thinks is like an interesting thing to people. I don't want to see The Rock and Ryan Reynolds together. That's not a dynamic I was asking for.
I will say that this director's first movie was Dodgeball.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's actually directed a fair amount of comedies, and so I don't know. Maybe this one will be kind of funny because I thought Dodgeball was all right.
Dodgeball's all right, but they also this person also wrote and directed Skyscraper, Central Intelligence.
Yeah.
Skyscraper was very bad.
Skyscraper was extremely forgettable.
I think what it is to me is these feel like for everybody involved, nobody's taking a risk, right?
It's so bland. It's so bland. And I'm looking at the budget here, and it's $200 million.
Wait, what?
Yeah, $200 million.
To what? Jesus. $20 million for Johnson, $20 million for Gal Gadot. That's just those two, and it's not even revealed how much.
Probably $20 million for Ryan Reynolds too.
Yeah, and I don't know. Besides The Rock, like I don't think anybody else is that worth it in this. And again, it's so easy. It feels just. Is this Netflix? Is this going to Netflix?
Oh yeah.
And so Netflix will make the money they need. Like this really does feel like calculated, where they're like, we get these big names, we spend this much money, we'll get this thing.
Well, it's the most expensive thing that Netflix has ever done, which means it's more expensive than Marco Polo, which means that like it is actually kind of a big risk for them. I guess they really are banking on the safety of like these are all safe actors. We will watch them in anything.
Right.
Yeah,
and I actually.
Not to get too in the weeds on the nitty-gritty stuff, but Netflix did not foot the bill for it. Netflix bought the distribution rights from Universal, so Universal spent $200 million.
Oh my God!
I guess no matter who's spending the money, the issue is I think we're spending a lot of money. So therefore, let's be as safe as possible.
Yeah,
and that's actually probably what's going to be the problem. You know what I mean? Is that I can't see people being that excited for this.
Do you remember?
I think people will watch it. I think it's a Bird Box situation where Bird Box did really well because people are like, "Oh, it's right here."
Well, do we know if they do really well? Because doesn't Netflix not release their numbers, or have they started doing it where they release?
Yeah, they just always claim things do really well. I don't think they've released numbers. I don't know how the numbers even work for them.
Yeah. I think, I was talking about this the other night. Like their first foray into original content was not House of Cards. It was the show called Hemlock Grove, right? That was like...
It sure was.
Yeah,
it sure was.
So that was just like an algorithm too. It's like vampires, cool, teenagers, werewolves. Like it was just totally capitalizing on like dark, edgy Twilight. And it just seems like it was like... I knew the author, like I read the book. It was whatever. But like, the TV show was just like a algorithm. Like it's just an AI.
So was House of Cards.
Yeah, so was House of Cards, but House of Cards like had some merit to it. I feel like wasn't actually good produced.
And I have to retract what I said. I'm looking more into this movie. Netflix got the rights away from Universal early on, so they did foot the bill for this movie.
Damn.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
I also love that despite all this principal photography, I'm just again reading off the wiki. Principal photography was started in Georgia. before moving to like Rome and Italy, because of course, like they have the tax credits. Why not
Get
just
them
shoot
tax breaks?
Right.
Just shoot the whole thing in Georgia. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Just put the fucking whatever. Build Rome in Atlanta. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then go to Rome for the post.
Yeah.
Do you remember
for one shot?
Do you remember like when this a couple months ago it was like Netflix was like doing their big original push, like they were like did the trailer for just Netflix as a brand, and this was this was the central thing of it. They were like Red Notice, and I was like I didn't even know if this was a film. I just thought they were like Gal Gadot and the Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are here to tell you watch Netflix.
Man,
it could have been just that. Like for all anyone can tell. Yeah.
That is, man, this being their main centerpiece. Like, this feels like a 2005 movie, you know? Like, this feels dated. Like, Netflix, they make a lot of good decisions, obviously, but it seems like they're better at figuring out what people want to watch for series than movies.
Yes, a hard agree.
Yeah. Like, that algorithm really does a good job with TV.
Yeah. I mean, like, but it's like that. It's their acquisitions into like reality shows. I feel like can sometimes be a hit or miss. Like they actually kind of get it sometimes. But it's their original series that do really well, and their original movies. I don't know what their thing is. Is it literally just being like, well, this is a person that was in Fast Five. This was a person that was in Fast Five, and this is a person who will agree to be on screen with The Rock. Like, is that how these decisions are made?
I feel like you nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just like there's some Fast and Furious motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. And he was in Hobbs and Shaw. Maybe that's how The Rock...
Yeah, I was about to say Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
Yeah.
It will probably do well, to be honest. Because it's aiming for the middle.
Yeah.
It's aiming for the widest spread of people wanting to watch it. And it's like, if I was... if you're getting together with the family and you want to watch something that's just easy, you stick on Red Notice. I get it.
Yeah, sure.
The thing is, I don't know how people... I haven't seen Free Guy yet. I know people are really liking it despite all the publicity that it garnered, but I don't like Ryan Reynolds' face, like, ever, and I don't like him in things.
Thank you.
That's a personal opinion. I think he is a smug-looking dude, and he acts like a bully in high school.
I had this conversation with Tom about Free Guy is that he's mostly a miss for me. Like, he usually doesn't make me laugh.
Yeah.
There's stuff that I like him in, but whatever charm he has on people, it's just not working for me. I don't dislike him as much as you, it sounds like. I just don't find him particularly charismatic.
You know what it is? It's not charm, it's schmarm. It's like...
Schmarm.
It's like smarmy. Yeah. It's smarmy charm. It's schmarm.
But I do think he's a good actor, and I think he can do good work and stuff.
Yes.
It just feels like a matter of, like... It's more like... For me, like, this has it, where it's like... Say a thing and then whisper another thing.
Yeah.
Joke done. And he does that in so many things, and I don't think it's his fault as much as it's like, yeah, he's a funny guy. Get him on screen. Have him improv. Don't write lines for him.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just do your thing, Ryan Reynolds. Do the thing everybody loves. But like, I think of a movie like Voices that he was in, where it's like, yeah, if you actually give him something, he'll do it.
Yeah.
He'll do it really well. It's just I think that it's again for The Rock and him, this feels like an autopilot.
Yeah.
Where they're like, yeah, I'll do the thing. It's easy.
Do you think
I'll get $20 million for this.
Yeah.
I think I have several exceptions to my rule about Ryan Reynolds. One is like, whenever he puts a beard on, that's fine. That's his serious roles, right? So when he does the beard. I like the one where he was trapped in a coffin for the entire movie. That was great. That was a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Buried was
that's
good.
a good movie.
And I like it when he voices characters. Like, I don't mind Deadpool. So I think it's just his face.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Detective Pikachu. I think it's his face that bothers me, and I don't like it.
Sure.
Fair.
So if Ryan Reynolds is listening, look, it's not you. It's your
face.
stupid face.
It's your terrible face. It's your $20 million mug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like everybody. It's like any star who gets too big, where they become sort of a brand.
Yes.
And like. Yeah. He's hitting that problem, and I'm sure he'll have different waves of like proving that he's better than.
But he's kind of stayed there his entire career. Like he began as a brand. I feel like Ryan Reynolds began as what he is right now. He is not metamorphosized at all. He's just stayed consistent.
He's Van Wilder.
He's Van Wilder, exactly. Deadpool
He's
is
Berg
Deadpool.
from Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Yo.
Oh shit!
Yes.
All right, let's move on.
The Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time keeps on turning.
I like how much they talk about the Wheel of Time in this trailer, and I was just like, yeah, I get it.
I like how much they are trying to make this look like Game of Thrones as hard as they possibly can.
Oh, I was gonna say Lord of the Rings. It feels
But look
very
at that,
Lord
that
of the
city.
Rings.
That city looks exactly like King's Landing. The font looks exactly like the Game of Thrones font. They're like really
Right.
leaning hard into
And
that
it's
shit.
based on a book.
Because they have their own Lord of the Rings show, Dave. It's Amazon.
I know, but it gave me more Lord of the Rings vibe, where it's like magic and we're very serious, and no one's like fucking or like murdering as much as Game of
I see
Thrones.
what you're
That's
saying.
true.
Yeah, so like it felt more of like this is a family affair. Folks.
Have you ever read the books? Has anyone read the books? Like, do we know if they're...
Nah.
Okay, so I
I
wonder...
have not.
I
No.
wonder, like, because I was talking about this again the other night on a different podcast, but I wonder if this is sort of like the new crop. It seems kind of belated, but like instead of the vampire YA novels getting transitioned from, books to movies to television, we're now getting like the fantasy stuff, like Game of Thrones kind of led the
Right.
way, and like Lord of the Rings is doing it, and now this show, and that's sort of like the new crop of speculative fiction, science fiction, fantasy.
Yeah, and that could be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely like it more than
Like that's
vampires.
yeah. This is some. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is like. I could really get down with this. If it's just like one long Lord of the Rings, it's like fuck yeah. If it's one long Game of Thrones, not so much. But like if this is just like just a bunch of very serious people talking about prophecies and bullshit.
Oh no,
I'm into it. I'm into it like I'm into that prison one where it's like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do, and it's working.
Oh no,
Yeah.
guys!
No, I mean, this is like a 15-book series. There's a shitload of books, so.
Yeah.
The guy died while writing the last book. It seems like that's
He
sad.
sure did.
I do like.
Oh wow.
I'm just guys. I'm just checking Wikipedia. No big deal. I just want to be upfront and transparent about what my sources are here. The series is set in an unnamed world that, due to the cyclical nature of time as depicted in the series, is simultaneously the distant past and the distant future. Question mark.
I really like that actually. I like dealing with some weird time shit in a fantasy.
That is my favorite genre. Is weird time shit.
Yeah, where it's like in this world, it's not just that we have wizards and orcs. It's like no, time exists differently. Everything's happening at once or something like that. That sounds pretty hardcore.
Jeremy Bearimy. It's all Jeremy Bearimy.
Sure.
Yeah, like that's like I hope they pull it off.
Yeah, man. I don't have anything against it.
Well, there's
I know it's been a super popular series for a long time, and I know that Robert Jordan, the guy who wrote the books, is what all the Game of Thrones fans are pointing to with George R.R. Martin dragging his ass to write the last two. They're like, don't fucking Robert Jordan on us.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I have... fantasy is not my genre of choice. Like, honestly, it's not my thing. There's so many things you have to memorize, and like everyone's name usually sounds the same, and I hate that. And it takes me
It's not your cup of mead.
Oh my god. No,
Nice.
well, I do love Ren Fair. So let's be clear here about what parts I don't like about it. It's the parts where everyone has different names and different houses, and there's different things like Aragon, Aramore, Arwen. Just miss me with that. But it does
Keep on driving.
keep on driving. It does look like people in this have special abilities, which is my cup of tea. Is magical powers.
Yeah.
Like The Witcher somehow was my cup of tea for like majority of the first season. I like that.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. The showrunner of this is writing both the Uncharted and the Division screenplays, which I don't know. That's weird. Also, going down this rabbit hole, the Division movie
is being directed by Ross and Marshall Thurber. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy is directing the thing we just talked about, Red Notice.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Who, by the way, I'm looking at a picture of him, looks like Henry Rollins' cousin.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this show.
It does kind of, because like what happened? Did Hollywood shrink even farther? And now there's only like 4 showrunners. Like there's only 4 directors.
Oh,
exactly.
No, it's getting smaller and smaller as distribution platforms are getting wider and wider. It's terrific.
Well, I guess it's like your COVID bubble becomes like your connections in LA just become like the 4 people that you'll let in a room with you.
Yeah,
Where they're like,
exactly.
we need an Uncharted movie. Will you write it? Good. We need The Division movie.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know. Can you also write that? Sure, great.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
guess.
we all know how this works, guys. You make a connection with one person, you find out that they're competent, like in any capacity, and you're like, why bother finding a new person? This person can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's the entire industry.
It's gonna be interesting. When is this gonna come out in relation to the Lord of the Rings stuff?
Oh, Lord of the Rings, we're not getting for at least another year, right?
So this is to tide us over.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if this ends up like beating Lord of the, or becoming like the more popular of the two, despite all the money they're throwing at.
That'd be amazing. Because Lord of the Rings, it's a hard sell because it's everybody being like, yeah, we're all set.
Yeah, I feel like you
know,
told.
like-
I feel like you told the story.
Yeah.
What do I want to come back to this for?
Yeah.
So,
It could be good though.
this is based, partly inspired, this new one, The Wheel of Time, partly inspired by Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. So if you ever just want that, mapped onto feudal England or wherever, the feudal non-time specific, like
right.
King Landing, whatever.
Nope, I don't want any of that.
Oh man,
I don't know. We'll see.
Let's keep it moving. We got a lot of trailers.
We do. Yeah.
This next one is I think going to be the big Oscar contender from what I'm reading. This is The Power of the Dog.
What is going on in this trailer?
I have no idea.
Benny Cumbers.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch being creepy in the Old West, whistling the Jurassic Park theme.
That is the Jurassic Park
the
theme,
first
right?
3 bars are 100% the Jurassic Park theme. It's like, what's happening?
Is that
here?
is that the rated? So he's going
that
do
was-
do do, or is that wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every Oscar contender, it has Jesse Plemons in it.
Yeah.
It sure does.
I
God, look
love
at
how
him! Look at him!
Jesse
He looks
Plemons-
incredible.
Can we? Just,
What is going on with? I like Jesse Plemons. I think he's a good actor.
He's the greatest.
I think it's weird that he's in every art house film.
I don't find that weird at all, and I think God bless Jesse Plemons, like the guy who's willing to be that looking creepy guy in the movies.
Yeah.
Also, I just love that him and Kirsten Dunst met on the set of Fargo and fell in love, and now just appear in movies together just to be near one another. They are
Are they together?
yeah, they have a
They're
kid
married.
together. No, they're engaged and they have a kid.
Oh,
yeah.
they're engaged. Okay.
That's so great. Also, Kirsten Dunst in this is. After Fargo, I was just more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And instead she went and had their child, and now she's back doing movies with him, and I could not be more thrilled.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch. So I really like him in a lot of things. This feels like I'm not sure how this is going to go for him.
Quite honestly, how can you read anything from this?
He's playing a cowboy in America.
Something.
Which I assume he's not going to do, the accent.
Oh, I don't know.
I just think about what has worked for him and what in the past. He looks really good in this. He's a good actor. This just feels out of his comfort zone, which isn't a bad thing.
Well, the good thing
does that make sense?
The good thing about westerns is you can be very taciturn, so he doesn't actually need to talk that much. And if he can do the Doctor Strange voice, he can just do it a growly Jeff Bridges American accent, and I feel get away with it.
Yeah.
The problem with this was when I scrolled down to look at the plot synopsis, because again, this trailer gives you nothing. This trailer is here's a picture of some corn, here's him whistling, here's Kirsten Dunst crying, here's a shot of Jesse Plemons from behind a window. That's it.
with a face full of hair.
Oh my god, he looks great. I hope he's the
He
sheriff.
looks incredible. He looks incredible.
Yeah.
So the plot of this movie is apparently Benedict Cumberbatch is a bad person. He's a bad dude, a bad hombre, and he gets his brother's wife and her son with him, and for some reason he tortures them until he then finds love. Is exactly what the plot synopsis said. And I was like, is this problematic? This feels problematic.
I mean,
it depends on what it's saying about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's
it's Benedict. You hire Benedict.
Factored into this.
Yeah, you hire Benedict because he's, a good-looking man. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
He plays bad guys a lot, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played a dragon.
He did play a dragon.
That's the only bad guy I can think of.
I would give any amount of money to have him do a growling Jeff Bridges voice.
Oh,
Kill order shot.
I feel like he can. I feel like he absolutely can. If he can do a dragon, he can do growly Jeff Bridges.
Truly, if you can make me believe dragon, you can make me believe grizzled cowboy Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have the gift of the thespian.
I mean, this movie, it kind of reminds me of the plot of The Wicked Kind, which I'm sure like nobody's ever heard of. It was like a Neil LaBute produced movie, so take that with exactly as much grain of salt as you need. It was Adam Scott and Brittany Snow and J.K. Simmons, and Adam Scott is like this like ne'er-do-well brother of this, I forget who the other actor is, who brings his girlfriend home. The other guy brings his girlfriend home, and like Adam Scott has this dark past. We don't know what it is, but he immediately just starts like kind of like psychologically torturing the girlfriend of his brother until she sleeps with him. And it's supposed to be problematic. It's supposed to be like thorny, but like in doing so and being like that edginess, it's kind of itself not really commenting on the situation so much as being like cool shock value of it.
Right. Yeah, these things could go wrong.
Yeah.
For sure. This looks like I'm guessing it's like almost entirely at this one like house.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of that where I feel like it's going to have that vibe.
I feel like he says 10 lines of dialogue, sum total.
Yeah.
At the most 10 lines of dialogue for Benedict Cumberbatch in this film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm super fucking curious.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as... Yeah, the plot isn't... I'm really curious about this, but the next film, which is also a Western, really lays it out in a way that I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about Old Henry. Let's move on to Old Henry.
This movie looks incredible. That's how you make a trailer.
You show me Tim Blake Nelson with a fucked up face doing a voice.
Oh, man.
He finds some dude with a bag of money, and it's like a simple plan in the Old West.
Oh, God, it looks so good. It's such
fucking Steven Dorff shows up doing an Old West voice. Yes!
Fucking Steven Dorff. That was the part.
I mean, it was already there as Tim Blake Nelson. I was like, okay. And then Steven Dorff shows up as a bad guy. I'm like, this is a fucking film.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I love it when trailers take you on a journey. Like the trailer took me on a journey where you're like, oh, he found this guy with a bunch of money, and the guy's like the bad dude. Like the guy's like creepy, and like he's hiding out from Steven Dorff and his friends. And Steven Dorff says he's the sheriff, but then the guy's like, he's not the sheriff. He's actually like a bad dude. But then it turns out the real guy who's like the badass is Tim Blake Nelson, who's like kind of just been doing like a John Wick thing in the Old West.
Yeah, he's Old West
it's
John Wick
in the Old West. Yeah.
It's freaking amazing.
With his buddy, is it Trace Atkins?
That is Trace Atkins, yes.
Does he naturally sound like Sam Elliott?
I hope so.
I think you hear his voice first, and I was like, oh, and Sam Elliott's in this. And then they cut to him, and I'm like, whoa. That just hurt my brain.
Trace Atkins.
I could not recognize
Sometimes there's a man, and I'm talking about Tim Blake Nelson here.
It definitely is giving off Coen brother vibes, though. You're not wrong. Like the Tim Blake Nelson-ish of it, like the simple plan plot. Like this does give off a vibe. Like, was this written by the Coen brothers at one point? Like it feels like it. Like it does.
Yeah.
Like even the fake lawman, because that ends up being, spoilers for A Simple Plan, but that ends up being the bad guy as a fake FBI agent.
You know what? That actually is a spoiler for me. I've yet to watch A Simple Plan.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not a huge spoiler. It's
a good con. As cons go, the pretending to be a lawman con is really good.
Oh yeah,
by the time he shows up, you're pretty sure he's the bad guy. So I didn't ruin the film for you. I don't think
that happens in Identity too, but it is not the big reveal of Identity.
No,
it is not the big reveal of Identity.
The big reveal of Identity is James Mangold made Identity. That's
I was thinking Frailty. That's what I went
Frailty
to.
is amazing. That movie gets
fucking Identity. Oh my god. Okay. So Old Henry, just please immediately give me this movie.
Yeah, Jane Campion's directing it. Ooh. What's that?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's good. I like this. 2 thumbs up based on trailer alone.
She actually adapted the screenplay too.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this is going to be dope.
Who?
I love this.
Jane
Like
Campion.
a woman doing like a Western is with this kind of like cast and this thing. That's so cool. And not to be like that person, but it is so cool to like give Jane Campion this project. Awesome. Or for her to take it and just get it produced.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What are we up? Mass. We're on Mass.
Oof.
Which this... Man, there's layers here.
It's like there's something to talk about Kevin. We need to talk about Kevin, but like
that's Carnage.
Well, right? Yeah, as Tom pointed out, it is the plot of Carnage, but even more intense, because Carnage, which was a Roman Polanski film, was two parents meeting to discuss a bullying between their kids.
Yeah.
One of their kids bullied the other. And the idea is it's actually the opposite premise, which is they meet to talk about something very low stakes and it goes out of control. This is something very high stakes, which is a parents meeting to discuss that one of the kids killed the other kid, and I assume a mass shooting.
That's exactly what I thought. It must be a mass shooting.
Yeah. It's painfully topical.
Jason Isaacs.
Which doesn't... Yeah, Jason Isaacs is in there. It's...
You know what else reminded me of? The Steve Coogan one that was based off that really popular Danish book. I think it was called The Dinner, or like was it called The Dinner? But it was like they go. It's like him and his wife go out to dinner with I think it's like his brother or his brother-in-law and his wife, and they're talking about the kids, and one of whom has committed a serious crime, and it's only getting revealed through this like highly tense dinner thing that's coming out. Boom.
Right.
Yeah.
We love this shit. We love
it's great.
Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Yeah.
We're gonna do it all in one room. I have no idea if this is gonna be good or not because it's starting from like this is where this is a hot topic that always like makes me suspicious.
Right,
you know?
it's already starting at like where it's ramped up to like 11.
Yeah, if you needed in the trailer, this is the opposite of being taken on a journey. If Ann Dowd needs to explain in the trailer that, or like Martha Plimpton explained to Ann Dowd that like her kid died by the hands of the other kid, then like what's there left to say? I get it.
Yeah, I got it. I can tell where this whole movie is going. Probably, I'm still gonna watch the shit out of it.
Yeah, but as an exploration of like a mass shooter, it's one of those things. It feels like, I mean, for obvious reasons, it feels like when we do movies about serial killers and we're trying to like understand it or something like that. It's really hard to get that right. I think.
We're assuming it's
or to do it in a way that matters. So there's this potential of like, are they just banking off of that topic, and will they actually be able to manage to say something meaningful about it? And I don't know.
By the way, I was correct. The movie is called The Dinner. Just FYI. Really proud of myself.
Oh, yeah, I do need to issue another correction. We're playing it real fast and loose today. Jane Campion directed The Power of the Dog. So,
what's another one?
That makes more sense.
Old Henry was actually written and directed by Patsy Ponsiroli.
Okay.
So,
I feel a little bit different about it.
Apologies to Patsy.
Now I do feel a little bit different about it because like that movie didn't seem as good. But still, go Jane Campion.
Yeah. Well, The Power of the Dog, again, it's getting a lot of like festival buzz. It feels like that's going to be... We're going to be hearing about it for a while.
But she does a lot of erotic stuff, so that means that this is going to be like a very sexual... She did the portrait of the lady. She did it in The Cut. Like, she's mostly done the piano.
She did piano, right?
Yeah. So the idea of like a gruff, more than slightly abusive guy in the West falling in love and having an affair with the person he's abusing does seem like it might be the potential for the plot of this film. Which, yeah.
Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the main event.
Yeah, okay.
This whole episode has been a pretext for this trailer.
Yay.
Yeah.
Fucking Moonfall! Oh my gosh, it's the Roland Emmerich film about the moon falling into the earth.
Plausible.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is scientific as shit.
There's a wobble.
Yeah.
There's a wobble, folks. It might happen.
I knew this was coming. Like, I had known about it.
We've been following this, I think, since it was announced.
Oh, yeah, and then I forgot about it, though, which made this delightful. The most delightful thing is, has he been in one before in a Roland Emmerich? The presence of Patrick Wilson. I was like, perfect.
He's so good.
I believe he was in Midway, the last one that Roland Emmerich did.
That doesn't
the Woody
count.
Harrelson one?
But, like...
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, Roland Emmerich disaster film, stick Patrick Wilson in there, we got a fucking movie.
Fucking film.
You know what?
Retroactively put him in 1998's Godzilla, please.
Absolutely.
Just like, Photoshop him into whichever Meteor one was his.
Yeah. This also has Halle Berry, Donald Sutherland,
Michael Pena in the role that was originally Josh Gad.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Upgrade.
Oh, yeah. That's a glow up. Yeah.
That's a glow up. He grew up.
That's a glow up.
He grew up.
This is perfect. This is perfect. It's all these pros.
It's everything
they know exactly
I need.
what they're
everything
in.
I need.
Question.
It looks dumb as shit in the best way. Yeah.
What happened to Josh Gad?
He dropped out for some reason. Who knows? Maybe he was too afraid of success.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
At what
He
point-
was reading it and looking at the cast and being like, "This is too awesome. I need to go do the Wedding Ringer too."
I wonder when Roland Emmerich, we're going to stop referring to them as disaster films and just be like, speculative reality writer or director Roland Emmerich. Like, it's just at this point, I just believe whatever Roland Emmerich is doing will come true in the next 10 to 20 years.
So, what do you guys think the odds are that aliens are involved in this? Because there's a few shots in this where
there's
I'm like,
shots of
that
stuff
doesn't look man-made.
There's shots of things also that look like beasts, like star beasts.
Yeah.
So I think aliens might be involved, but we'll see.
Well, the premise, and this is Roland Emmerich down to the characters. This is Roland Emmerich. One of my favorite things about him is he understands how to really quickly create like character conflicts. So it's stuff where it's like, can that character and that character, can they be ex-spouses? Bam! We got conflict, where he does shit like that. The synopsis, according to IMDb, is a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit and sends it on a collision course. And then NASA executive and former astronaut Joe Fowler, which I believe is Halle Berry, is convinced she has the key to saving us all, but only one astronaut from her past, sounds like an ex, Brian Harper, sounds like a Patrick Wilson.
Sounds like a Patrick Wilson.
And a conspiracy theorist,
Sounds like Michael Pena.
Casey Houseman, sounds like it could be a Donald Sutherland. Who knows?
Michael Pena.
Believe her.
I think that's
Michael
Michael
you're
Pena,
right.
yeah.
That's Michael Pena.
I think that was the
And
Josh Gad part.
And so, bam, we have the Jeff Goldblum eccentric. We have the two with like a past that they have to. I'm sure they were romantically involved, and they'll get back together. These unlikely heroes will mount an impossible last-ditch mission into space, leaving behind everyone they love, only to find out that our moon is not what we think it is.
Yes!
Oh,
Yes.
fuck yeah!
Yes.
Yeah! It's a fucking transformer hive!
Oh my god.
God, it better open up.
It's full of bees.
Something. Yeah, it's
Full of bees!
Oh, that'd be so good.
Bees!
I am so
Space
fucking excited.
That's where they've all gone. They've gone to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this cannot.
This cannot
fast enough.
it cannot disappoint me either.
Yeah.
No, why? How could it? Roland Emmerich. I think when it comes to his disaster films, I've never been disappointed by them.
No.
They're
They're always
everything they need to
exactly
be.
what you wanted.
Yeah, because here's the thing: Roland Emmerich doesn't care about physics, and nobody can tell him no. That's impossible. So he can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and they survive for some reason.
Yeah.
And he manages to make it seem like it's plausible.
That's why he's
Yeah.
the better Michael Bay. Like, that is the deal with him.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that-
he's 100% the better Michael Bay.
but,
Yeah.
but he did
Yeah.
Deep Impact, correct? Or am I crazy? Or
No, he actually didn't. He actually didn't do either of them.
Oh my god, I thought he did one of the Meteor movies.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All right, Stargate is his art house
Oh
film.
yes, Jesus
Like,
Christ.
That's his
Is it
grounded and
Stargate
artistic.
or is it Anonymous, the one about Shakespeare?
Oh yeah. No, I think it's still
It's still Stargate.
Oh, you know what?
That's his most.
Oh, go ahead.
That's his most grounded film. That and Universal
Yeah.
Soldier. I would say then he did Independence Day, Godzilla, The Patriot, The Day After Tomorrow, 10,000 BC, 2012, Anonymous, something called Dark Horse, White House Down. God, what a great film! Stonewall, Independence Day Resurgence, Midway, and then we're on to this.
These are all motion pictures.
Wait.
Yep.
Stonewall.
And you know what?
Interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
He did Stonewall. Yeah.
Here's something wild. His next film after Moonfall, Stargate.
What?
I think he's remaking his own film.
Sure. Fuck it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Stargate was a great film. I love Stargate.
Stargate's an excellent film.
It might be a sequel. Stargate a sequel. You get fucking Kurt Russell showing up.
Hell yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Get old ass Kurt Russell and James Spader up in there.
Oh my God!
yes.
Yes, James Spader, please. Did he die in the first one, or did he? He's around.
No, he stays behind.
Oh right, he hangs out with the
Yeah.
crying game person.
Yes.
Now there is. I'm seeing that on Wikipedia. No big deal. I am seeing that he did make a movie in 1990 called Moon 44, and could that give us clues about what this is?
Ooh,
I don't know, but I think it's
a sequel?
It's up to us to investigate that and determine.
It's about a futuristic mining site where convicts and teenage technicians are partnered. That's weird. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I mean, it's Roland Emmerich, man.
Let's see.
That's fucking strange.
Malcolm McDowell's in it. Let's see.
Fuck yeah, of course he is.
Let's see if there's anything here. There's no aliens, I don't think. Weird.
No, but here's all right. So some hints is they say a conspiracy theorist, right, teams up with Halle Berry. So I'm guessing that means that person's going to be right.
They always are.
I'm assuming that it's going to tie with like we faked the moon landing. I think it's going to tie with that sort of stuff. And like
can't land on a planet of bees.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't go there. It's full of bees. Or it's like, this is it's like an alien base that's just been there this whole time.
You're right. No, I think your first instinct was right, because think about how the trailer opens up. It opens up with you hear the whole Kennedy speech about the moon. The whole thing.
Oh, yeah. There's no way. One of the things Roland Emmerich loves to do is, like, tie in history. That's, That's definitely a thing he'll want to do. So, like, obviously you start with the moon landing. I mean, it's about the moon crashing to the Earth. So, yeah.
So if the moon is if the moon is falling towards Earth and the moon landing might have been faked, it's not what it thinks it is. Is that I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to connect those two ideas.
Right. My guess is I don't think it's falling towards Earth. I don't think it's sent off course. I think my guess is
attacking?
that it's attacking Earth.
Oh,
that's what I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah, their hive is angry.
I think every episode until this movie comes out, I want to guess what the moon is up to in this movie, because it could be anything at this point.
Yeah, it could be literally anything.
It could be an ancient space station that aliens left that just malfunctions.
Mm-hmm. It could be a spaceship.
The whole moon could be. It could be full of bees.
Cheese?
It could be loaded with bees.
It could be cheese, like we all used to think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could just be cheese.
It could be sentient. I like that idea a lot.
Sentient cheese.
Moon.
Sentient cheese.
Sentient cheese moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be spider moon rocks.
Yeah, it could be.
Spiders on top of bees, possible.
Mm-hmm. Spiders riding bees.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Moonfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
It's a film. And my God, what luck! What luck that we all exist in this timeline.
How lucky we are to be alive right now.
Yeah. My God, yeah. All right. We're going to move on to news stories. First, we got some patrons to thank. Thank you to Kool-Aid Molotov says, pulmonary embolism is an exceedingly rare side effect of the Moderna, so get the Pfizer and purge the weakness from the proletariat. Thank you. As always, get better.
Sure.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terrestrial.
Woo.
Thank you to Cody Johnston's Time Machine Noise.
Woo.
Thank you to Pete for Pagel. Thank you to Glitterous, CFO of Michael Shannon's Chocolate Factory.
Woo. Thank
you to subscribe to Jason Pargin's Substack.
Yep.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Exploding Runes. Thank you to Andrew How.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent. Thank you to RevMD. Thank you to Dr. DNA. Thank you to Lauren Gucci.
Thank you.
Thank
you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we had a ton of trailers. So let's these news stories aren't massive. So let's go through these news stories.
Here's the thing. The first one I feel like is already come and gone, which is that Mike Richards Jeopardy thing.
Oh yeah. Well, not only is he not the host, now he's just totally fired.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy. All I know is that he's a single photograph of a man smiling. It just feels like he flipped the fuck out or something. And then they're like, you know what, you're fine.
Oh no, it feels like you're right. I think it feels like he is not what he seems. Like the moon, he is not what he seems. He was just somebody who he stepped ahead of. Like he got a little bit ahead of himself. He probably could have gotten away with all those terrible things he did to, abusing his power. It seems like if he hadn't made such a weird push to become the Jeopardy host and like rig it in his favor. And the moment he did that was a bridge too far. And then everyone.
It's the thing. Yeah,
it's like
the
people
thing we
looked at
see
him
with-
and they're like, I suspect you're full of bees and or spiders
Yes.
riding
Yeah.
bees.
That is like my favorite clickhole article.
It is the thing with ego, where it's like it happens when certain people, say run for president and then become president, where it's like they overstep their boundaries and suddenly they're under a microscope, and it's like, oh, you go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You really,
you really didn't
that
want this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You done got yourself canceled.
It's like the Bloomberg effect, where they're like, yeah, everybody loves me, and it's like, number one, most of us don't know who the fuck you are. Number two, now that we know who you are, we don't really like you.
Yeah.
Go away. And then it becomes a problem because he was fired. They said it was like because of a disruptive workplace. So I assume it's that he might not have even flipped out. It might have just been everybody who's like, now that we know who he is, we don't want to work with him.
That's exactly what it is. When I read it too, because it was like they said we tried to like ingratiate him back into integrate him back into just his old job, and people just weren't having it. Like that was the disruption. Not that he not that he had a meltdown, but that people were like, no, like we're not just letting him be the shit.
Yeah.
Like he can't even be the executive anymore.
Right. Yeah. It's just such perfect.
Just so thoroughly rejected.
Yeah.
By
It's
the world.
such ego and such like complete blindness to what this insular bubble where it's like the internet is like, hey, LeVar Burton over here, and they're like, who should we get to host? Mike's always cracking jokes around the office, let's give him the job. Like that's what it felt like, is that they just had no self-awareness.
Well, he was the person in charge of hiring the new host. That was the part that like made everyone crazy, is that he rigged it so he would like get all the other hosts or make them look less good in order to then like promote himself. Like, and it did seem weird. It did seem weird that they were going to make a TV executive the host of Jeopardy. Right?
Well, what probably because he had hosted a couple other shows before, and then they had brought him on as an executive. So what probably happened was they brought him on as an executive with the understanding that he was going to become the new host, and then this guest host stuff was just performative to draw attention to the show, because as loudly as everybody on the internet had an opinion about Jeopardy, almost none of those people actually watch Jeopardy. Like its demographic is still skews pretty largely older people.
I mean, that's true. Yeah. But I know a lot of people who love and are very invested in Jeopardy, and it is telling. Of course, it is telling that they had to like split the duties up. Like that's how much. Or even originally, people were like, "I don't think so." Like they had to get what's her name? Malim Blahnik. I'm butchering her name.
Mayim Bialik or whatever. Blossom.
They got Blossom to do it, and it's not like she's not problematic either. She's got her own stuff that's like immediately got like put in the center field.
Yeah.
Ugh, God.
Jeopardy.
Find an unproblematic host. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to find somebody who's not problematic to read off these trivia questions.
Yeah, well, it's not like this was a surprise. This motherfucker carried allegations with him from job to job like luggage.
Right.
And craziness is that they weren't even going to fire him, except that people made a stink about it.
No, they weren't. Yeah.
Oh God.
So.
All right. Next story.
Yeah.
Next story. Yeah. Venom 2 is getting rated PG-13. No surprises there.
Sure, yeah.
Although I will say, like, there was a time where the first one was supposed to be R, right?
Yeah, and that's dumb.
And I was about to say, you've made good arguments about why it shouldn't be, but it is wild how far from that we are now, where it's like that was the original intent. Now I think it's probably good, because I think the first Venom felt like they had cut around it being R. Is that correct?
I don't know.
It feels like it. It feels like a little bit toothless, if I can say that. It's not a pun. It's just like a thing. It's just,
did you not see how many teeth Venom has?
I saw, and I heard that turd in the wind thing, and I was like, wouldn't that sound better if it was the word shit? Like,
we could have that debate for probably 2 hours, whether or not turd or shit is better.
You're right. Turd is a very specific word that connotates.
It's so dumb.
Right.
It's like it's the dumbest thing to say. I don't know. I love that stupid ass movie.
I guess what I'm wondering with this is, or what I was getting to with this is that if you're shooting for PG-13, as opposed to like writing an R-rated movie and then it getting turned into a PG-13. Like, the fact, just like having a plan and sticking to the plan ahead of time, that's a better sign.
Yeah.
It looks... it seems fine. I mean, the whole other universe thing that exists of the Marvel stuff, like, it's so wonky and confusing to me. Like, do they exist in the multiverse? Is that, like, where we're going with this? Venom is a cool character, but he's never going to appear in that, like, new Spider-Man movie, right? At least not in this form. It's not going to be Tom Hardy.
Oh, no, he might.
He wouldn't fit. Like, the tone of that first Venom movie was, all over the place. Like, weirdly sincere in some parts. Like, him and his symbiote's relationship was, like, I don't know. I felt like the first Venom, I was not asking for a sequel for it. I thought there were some good moments in it, but, like, it's weird.
Yeah, it's the issue with this and Morbius where it's like, Sony, I think what happened was they were establishing these before they thought that they would be merged with Marvel. And then it becomes this weird, like, these are sort of in the way, it feels like.
Yes.
Where it's like, we were going to do this whole villain thing, like DC is sort of doing with Suicide Squad, where, like, yeah, this is the villain team. We're going to make them sympathetic because we're unsure about Spider-Man. And now it's like, well, how does this all fit? And it's like, well, Venom and Morbius and stuff, they're not really going to have a presence as a villain because they're turning their villains into heroes, you know, where it's like they're making them the main characters and therefore they have to be sympathetic and protagonists. And so it's like, yeah, they're in a weird place where, like, Venom and Carnage, that shit could have gone really well in a Marvel Spider-Man.
Yes, it could have. It would have been such a good villain origin story for that Marvel.
Yeah, and now it's like, no, they can't really do that. We have Venom over here doing this stuff.
Yeah, it's like the Quicksilver.
And, like, he's not going to fight Tom Hardy and win. That's weird. So, yeah.
Season 2 of WandaVision, hear me out. Tom Hardy shows up, but he's not playing Venom. He's just some other guy whose last name is Boner. We can just do that again.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's do that gag again. All right, let's move on.
Final story is about Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola is just still working on this movie.
I feel like he's been working on
Megalopolis
for like 20 years, right?
I love
something
it.
weird
He
like
wants
that.
Oscar Isaac and Kate Blanchett in it. James Caan. He wants it to be about $120 million. I feel like we owe him
No,
this.
he's paying for it. Isn't that it? He's paying for this?
Yes, he is. And that is actually the thing I want to point out because we owe him this. Like, if we're gonna give $120 million for fucking Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom or whatever, it's like, give Coppola that much money for the love of God.
But he's not even asking for it.
Feels like he earned it. But exactly. He can't even do that. He has to do it himself.
I like that. Is it because he couldn't raise the money, or is he choosing to just finance it himself because he doesn't want, like, studio notes or whatever?
I think Coppola. I think Coppola is one of those guys, like, he never got along with the studio, right? He talked about in this interview about how, like, he owns the original print of Apocalypse Now and all the, like, rights because nobody wanted it at the time.
Yeah.
So, like, he's got that thing where studios are like, man, I don't get what you're doing, and then he just quietly makes, like, amazing films. And so since then, he's been making more, like, indie films.
I love it.
And I think he's been financing them himself. And now he's like, I want to make an epic. It's described as like it's like an old style, like, Roman epic, but it's today. I think that's the idea, is setting the parallel.
I love it.
To, like, the fall of an empire, but it's America.
You know, like, look, not to draw a comparison, bring it back to Lynch, but, like, this is like the Lynch thing, right? Like, he's going to make Twin Peaks: The Return, but he's going to do it on, like, his terms, and he's going to finance Inland Empire.
Right.
And, like, if you're a certain kind of artist and you don't want to compromise your vision, like, fine. If you can use your own money and you can finance it, go, like...
It's wild to me, though, that, like, if I were... It's wild to me that there isn't a fucking single millionaire or billionaire that wouldn't go to Coppola and be like, here is $100 million. Can you please just put my name in the credits? Okay, bye.
Oh.
Like, it's wild to me that he... maybe he isn't asking for the money, you know? Maybe he isn't. But it's like, for fuck's sake, someone give him millions of dollars. He's fucking
but the thing is, like, think about, like, his audience. Like, who's gonna, like, in the world of, like, Marvel and everything's got to be tied to an IP, and, like, how much is this going to recoup? Is this going to do streaming? How can we, like... He's not of... Kind of like James Bond. He's, for different reasons, he's not of this time. So I can totally see... see, like, him not wanting to get Netflix notes. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Is this like it makes me wish I was a billionaire so I could just give him all the money he needs and walk away. Also, I'd get like a cool car.
Does he have like a?
So that'd
does
be
he have a Patreon that I can sign up for? Get shout out.
Yeah, co-plug. Start a Patreon.
Yeah, get your.
Yeah, man.
Shut down the winery. Start a Patreon.
Yeah.
Let us know what tiers we can get in on.
Yeah. He's living his best life. Like I don't feel bad for Coppola. I think he's doing fine.
What do you think his?
And in fact, there's an argument to be made of like it's kind of cool that he's like, all right, I'm going to quietly go over here, and you young filmmakers go make your mark.
Yep.
Like I'm not going to get
involved.
involved.
What the keyword there?
Getting out of the way.
You know what? Yeah, you know what the keyword is there, David. David. It is quietly. It is quiet. Like he's not going to go and weigh in on like the Marvel movie thing or like whether movies should be in theaters or not. Like that's not what he's doing. Like he's not.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet there's been probably so many interviews where they're trying to Scorsese him.
Except why?
Where they're like, what do you think about Marvel? And he should just be like, nah.
But why are people interviewing him? What's the last movie he did?
I don't know. The last movie I saw was Twixt with Val Kilmer. He's been doing a lot of, he's been making movies. We're just not hearing about him.
Yeah, they're really small movies that nobody watches.
If you just Google the word Coppola, you know the very first link you get? It's just the Francis Ford Coppola Winery. That's what I feel like he's been up to.
Yeah.
He's just been up to the wine stuff. He paid Google for that to be the first result on his name.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
He stays wet.
He stays wet?
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh, wow. Twix was almost the last. He did something called Distant Vision after that. He did Tetro. He's done a bunch of like little things. Basically, he did Jack, and then he did The Rainmaker, and he was like, I don't know if this is for me anymore.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Did he do Tiptoes, or am I just crazy?
I think you're just crazy.
I want to see Francis Ford Coppola's Tiptoes.
So do I.
We all do.
Yeah.
He's been producing, surprisingly enough, he produced The Bling Ring.
Oh.
Directed by Sofia Coppola. Like, that all checks out. But I think he's largely just like, I made fucking The Godfather and stuff.
Not only that.
I can retire a little bit, and it's like, good for you, man. I hope you're having a great time.
Look at how many, like, the movies he did, it was like 74. He made The Conversation, The Great Gatsby, and The Godfather Part 2 the same year. The same year.
He sure did.
He's tired.
Yeah,
he's tired.
He's like, I think I proved my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Or maybe it was just that he finally made the movie he wanted to make, Jack.
Yes.
And he was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else.
It was all building to Jack.
Did Tetro come out? Wasn't that the one? I must be thinking of the Japanese Tetro. This isn't related, right? No.
I don't
like the Iron Man thing that they have in Japan? Never mind.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, God. Tetro has Vincent Gallo in it. All right.
Oh, God.
Moving on.
Vincent Gallo.
Yeah.
Shit. All right.
All right. Hold on. New section. Checking on Vincent Gallo.
Do our Vincent Gallo updates every week.
Yeah. That actually used to be a section of my favorite website, Video Gum. It was like, What's Up with Topher Grace, was just every week.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You got to check up on some of these guys.
Yeah,
all right.
I need to know what they're up to.
More producers to thank.
Yeah.
Hey, big thanks to... Oh, these are in a weird... Something happened here in the doc. Big thanks to Tux.
Woo.
Thank you, Tux. Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Woo.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to Space McNulty. Thank you to... Oh, great. It's that guy. Thank you to Nolan Mayton. Thank you to Vaccinated Man Andrew McGuire.
Woo.
Thank you to AJ.
Woo.
And thank you to Tip Drizzle.
All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Burrito Mouth. Thank you to Mrs.
Thank you.
Boydus. Thank you to the ghost
Thank
of
you.
Dave Thomas. Thank you to Aaron Burser. Thank you to David Knife Boot Hinson,
Knife
MBA CPA. Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire. Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick, Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vaccinated Jay. And thank you to Pie Guy. That's
Pie Guy.
Apparently an Antichrist. They used a body double because according to Lars von Trier, Willem Dafoe's dick was, quote, confusingly large.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
That was the confusion.
Lars von Trier said that shit.
Yeah.
That was the part of Antichrist that didn't make
blowing-
it. That was the part of Antichrist that didn't make it.
That's the part you cut out?
If you're blowing Lars von Trier's mind, that's not good. That's a man.
I believe they made a prosthetic clitoris to do something horrific with in that movie.
Pretty goddamn
so
horrific.
But his penis being too large was the unsettling thing.
Confusingly large.
Confusingly large. That's the key.
It confounded him.
Yeah,
well, that or like they would have to shoot from different camera angles. Like it wouldn't work. Like they would have to use trick photography to make it the same.
Nobody's gonna believe this dick is real.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dogma 95. No.
Dave.
Oh.
You know, we're having a good time. We're talking about Willem Dafoe's dick.
Yeah.
But I feel like I gotta ask.
Yeah.
If you have a movie that deserves more hype.
Yeah!
Oh, shit!
I do. Yeah, I do. I totally do. You nailed it, Tom.
Oh, what is it?
So this is coming out October 22nd. This just popped up on me. This is called 13 Fanboy.
Go on.
This is a movie about a killer who is murdering all the previous cast of Friday the 13th.
As one does.
Yes.
Yep. So it's got Dee Wallace, it's got Corey Feldman, it's got Kane Hodder in it. It doesn't look, it looks campy as shit, and I'm guessing that's the point. It's got like fucking like 10 F-13 actors, because you know there's a lot of those movies, and it's just a straight up slasher about this. Yeah, that's it. I do like this The note in the synopsis is, as a child, Kelsey witnesses the murder of her grandmother, a Friday the 13th actress, at the hands of a crazy fanboy. As an adult, Kelsey, a martial arts expert and actress, discovers her grandmother isn't the only victim. I love the martial arts expert because you kind of know how they're going to use that.
Man.
Yeah, this looks ridiculous. I like the poster.
It looks really bad, but also I can't wait to watch it.
Guys, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Of course.
Yeah.
I didn't think it looked that bad. Like in terms of how it was shot, like in terms of the budget, like it looked fine. Like it looked like it looked good.
That's fair.
I think it looked like it was trying to be a Friday the 13th era type thing. You know what I mean?
I didn't even pick up on that.
I think they're leaning into it. I think they're like, yeah, fuck it. Like it's supposed to play off of these campy films, so it is itself a pretty campy looking film.
Maybe.
But yeah, it doesn't look like the people behind it don't know what they're doing.
I wonder,
you know?
like, have you guys seen Never Sleep Again and the one that's about Friday the 13th? They're like these 8-hour-long documentaries about the making of every single one.
No, I never did.
The making of, like, all the Friday the 13th movies. That's its own docu-series. And they go through each and every movie. And they get all the actors because, of course, they do. Like, what do they have to, like, else going on? And they just tell you all these stories from set. Yeah. And you can just tell how thrilled these actors are to be being interviewed about, like, these movies. It was, like, kind of their high point, their watermark.
Right.
And so, like, this movie just feels like, I don't know how they got the rights to it, but it does feel like a love. Like, it's probably going to come from a place of true love of this genre, if not just because of the fan love, because of the love by the actors who just really appreciate getting to go to comic conventions and horror stuff because they were in this film.
Right. Yeah. It does feel like a celebration, and I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I assume it's coming to VOD. You think this is going to be on IMAX?
Yeah, probably. Probably get to see it at Cinemark XD.
Yeah. No, I'm look for it wherever you get your streaming, one assumes, and just go look up the trailer and the poster. It's basically the Friday the 13th logo, like the classic one, with a machete tearing
How'd
through
they get the rights?
Yeah, it looks,
How'd they get the rights to this? Like, can you not?
It's not technically about... I think you can get around it because it's not technically about Jason Voorhees. It's about somebody who's obsessed with Friday the 13th. So as long as they don't use any like footage from the film, it's sort of like the same way they were able to make Bubba Hotep and it just didn't have any Elvis songs in it.
Oh, okay.
Right, or like the idea of like a movie like Scream where they constantly talk about horror movies, specific horror movies. Like they show the horror movies and they have to get the rights there, but like I imagine a lot of it is just, you know,
interesting.
There might be, just ways to get around it.
So, Deborah Voorhees is a real person, which is fascinating.
Oh, yeah, that's just the name of the person involved in this? It comes from Voorhees Film Production, and when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, they must really like Friday the 13th." And then it's like, no, her name is Deborah Voorhees. It's very.
What do you think
weird.
the over/under is that she legally changed it? Like I'm saying, because she started. So it looks like she started in Friday the 13th: A New Beginning. I wonder.
I'm going to say like 80% chance that she changed her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine being that into the franchise. That's what I mean. Like the people who star in it are like even more into it than like the fan stuff. Like they need it.
This like happened. This happened to the star of the first Friday the 13th movie. An obsessed fan tracked her down because I think Gene Siskel put her hometown in his review.
He doxed her? Oh my god.
Yeah, he doxed her because he hated the movie so much.
That's crazy. That also happened to Heather Langenkamp in Nightmare on Elm Street. She like got stalked by an obsessive fan, and that's what made the genesis of A New Nightmare. Was like her experience getting stalked. Right.
So I do want to note her name is Voorhees. She was credited as a Voorhees in a Friday the 13th: A New Beginning. That's just her fucking name.
I don't buy it, man.
That's wild. She was credited as Debbie Sue Voorhees in her first movie, 1984's Innocent Prey, which I believe, when is the first Friday the 13th come out? Was
80.
that 80?
It's 1980.
She was a Playboy bunny. I'm going to see if like her name was always what it is. Like I feel like this is not. She changed it somewhere along the line and is doing a very good job hiding it, but I don't believe it that she just happens to share the same name.
It would.
Yeah.
It would mean before her first acting job, she was just so into this new movie Friday the 13th that she changed her name to Voorhees.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. So 13 fanboy.
13 fanboy, folks. I mean, you I don't have to sell this one to anybody.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you guys
If you're
know.
a Friday the 13th fan, you're going to want to see this.
Yeah.
So check
Are
it
you
out.
guys
That's
Friday
it.
the 13th fans?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I was more of a.
This is correct.
I'm a Freddy girl. I'm a Freddy person, but
I like Freddy.
I mean,
alright.
I like Freddy.
I mean, Jason and Michael are just like the tall, lumbering, non-speaking ones, and they're cool. But like, they're no, wisecracking.
See, I think
dream demon.
I think Jason is deeply hilarious. I just think he has the gift of physical.
You're
comedy.
right. He does. He does that head tilt. That's really good.
Yeah, he's a master of physical comedy.
That's why I enjoy him more, is because then, like, I like Nightmare on Elm Street as well, but I find Jason way more funny because Freddy Krueger's like kind of trying a little too
Freddy
hard.
Krueger wants to be on SNL. Like everything Freddy Krueger does,
Yeah.
he's like
he's testing out bits on his victims.
Yeah, he's like, we've got a great show for you tonight. Fun is here.
I feel like that gag really landed before I cut it apart with my fingers.
Yeah, all his things are bits. Like they're all bits.
He's trying bits out on his victims.
And to an audience of
It's
nobody.
like his open mic.
He's a puck figure. He's either talking to us, the audience, while he's like doing those little riffs, or he's just, just speaking to himself. I love the psychology of Freddy Krueger. Love it.
Movies are great.
Movies! All right, that's a sode. We've done it!
We did it!
Oh,
Woo!
thank you so much for being here, being on this.
David, thank you so much for having me,
Yes.
but also thank you so much for staying awake. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, this invigorated me.
Yeah,
I
I can feel it. I can feel you've been supercharged. It's like somebody hit your NOS button.
Exactly.
Drew, where can people find you? What do you want to tell people
Oh
about?
gosh, there's a lot going on with me right now. You can always check me out on my patreon.com/videodrew. Everything I do is /videodrew. Not the word backslash, just videodrew. You can look me up anywhere on the internet. Videodrew is one word. I have a new podcasting thing. The umbrella company of it is called Content Candy. You can find it right now by going to anchor.fm/videodrew. I do a show with Lon Harris called Garmin Shows Ya. I do the Video Chronicles with me and Nerd Chronic, the editor of the Movie Trivia Schmodown, where you can also find me sometimes. I have a bunch of new shows on YouTube too, so just check out anything Video Drew.
Excellent.
Yeah. Dave, tell them what we got going on.
Hey, we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/GamefullyUnemployed. For $5 a month, you get 3 exclusive podcasts. Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder's a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama. We watch movies with our patrons every Friday night. That is tonight. So you can also check that out, and a bunch of other things on there too.
Yeah.
So do that.
Check that out. We also got a store. Head over to GamefullyUnemployed.com where you'll see the link to our Teespring store. We have a new store. So yeah, check that out. We got t-shirts, masks, mugs, posters, stickers, all kinds of shit. Check that out.
Where's Bane? Where is
Bane?
So good.
He's at the Teespring store.
He is, because T-Public bumped him off.
They sure did. Yep.
Yeah,
They
that's
told
part
us,
of why they moved.
Yeah.
They got rid of Where's Bane.
they told us it was a copyright infringement. We're like, that's original artwork.
Yeah.
Wait, that's also 90% of like what those sites are. Oh my god, I know.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also parody. It's also parody. They also wouldn't allow us to have a shirt with the word Gotham on it. Go ahead and Google. Go ahead and go on TeePublic and see how many other things have the word Gotham on it. Also, not a copy.
No, it's not.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, they bumped that shit off.
Believe it or not,
like,
DC Comics does not own the word Gotham.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's all. That's all on the Teespring. Is the point?
Yes.
So check that shit out.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye,
everyone.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, Corlew, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.